Do you want to talk about it? Can I tell you?
Yeah.
Are you shy?
No, not anymore. I used to be.
What, shy? Camera shy?
I like being the other side.
You want to sit next to Nemo?
No.
I'll sit on a little chair. I'm talking to Ellie, and Ellie's going to tell us about the setting up of the Tent Embassy. Your husband was involved in it, is that right?
Yeah. He's passed on now, but his name was Elle Gilbert. And in '72, Billy McMahon gave a speech from Parliament House here saying that Aboriginal people would only get leases on their own land. And that sort of stirred the hornet's nest up in Sydney. And Kevin, along with people like Michael Anderson and Tony Curry,
I hope it's not too warm for him.
Billy Craigie, and Bertie Williams, and there was a whole group there. They decided that the protest should come to Canberra instead of Sydney. So 4 young men came down in a car and set up the camp here overnight on the 26th, it's actually the 27th of January, and they had a beach umbrella. And from there it grew. The Quakers came in and donated a tent, and then over the years, over the months, they created a lot of international press, and that really opened up the issue because the police came in like the Gestapo. Just hundreds of police marched in formation to break up the camp, and all that was filmed and it went out around the world, and that alerted the rest of the world that something really terrible was happening in Australia. And a lot of countries think Australia is a white land, white country, but because that's the propaganda that's gone out from Australia. But that sort of cracked it, and people realised, well, there's actually a black race that belongs here first. And the treatment for Aboriginal people still is horrendous, and it's so bad it's actually a genocide.
So what are the parliamentarians, what's their reaction been to the Tent Embassy being here?
They've always got a policy of removing it. They've passed laws to remove it, but they can't. It's actually classified as an illegal structure on Commonwealth land, but they're also very aware that it's a national icon for the struggle, Aboriginal struggle in Australia, and that if they really moved it, it would ignite the communities right around the country, and they'll be here in its defence because it's in everyone's heart.
I'm hoping to talk to Uncle Chappie about what's been going on here lately. There's some burnt out stuff, isn't there?
Yeah, there have been arson attacks, even by Aboriginal people who've sold out and paid to do it. It's all been on film, on the television, but it's stronger than that. It's sort of it's within the land itself, and it's within people's hearts.
And accepted. Aboriginal sovereignty has never ceded over this land, and our fight still continues today. In that building there, that's where a lot of the laws were made. Laws from another place, laws from another time. The taking of our land and the removal of our children, our stolen dreams, those laws were all made in that building there. And we are still fighting today. It's genocide, still continues to this day. Over there is where the mantle was, which housed a lot of information that was burnt, an arson attack on the Tent Embassy. And over at the back here we had a museum that went up in flames a week or so ago, and as we see it, it's the continuation of genocide of our people. The genocide continues to this very day.
It's an Aboriginal site. There's a burial ground here, and also there's just thousands of artefacts, millions of artefacts. So just evidence, of when that happened.
Some is to skin, some is to cut grass with, some is to weave fishing nets out of the special stuff here, but it's not here, it's around here. And this was all full of freshwater eels, full of saltwater fish, prawns, crabs. This was great hunting ground for my people. That's why I always come here to talk, and that's why there was actually millions and millions of artefacts destroyed. And the worst thing about it, I told them before they put the blade in, the bulldozer blade into it, I told them, I said, please don't put it in there. My mother told me that there's more artefacts than you can imagine. They said, oh, it's only scattered. When they put it into it, it just sounded like they're running over a big blue metal quarry. Beautiful artefacts, amble stones, stone axes. They just destroyed the whole damn lot on us, they did. They're assimilating our children slow, and they're taking a lot of notice, but they're not putting it back into the system again, you know? They're not putting it back into the system again.